All right, I think we're all set to go. Man, you guys are all quiet before I even get all ready. That's pretty amazing. Well, I'm starting up here with this beautiful picture from the Hubble Space Telescope. I haven't done constellation pictures in quite a while, so I'd start with this. But let me just before I get too far, this I'm gonna end giving health updates because I'm doing so good. Okay, because it's just I'm doing fine. Let me just tell you briefly that I continue to feel good, except for last Thursday. Joan didn't stop me from doing too much, and so I got I got some pain, more pain than usual, and but that's not bad. And then so I'm blaming her for that. But tomorrow is my fifth infusion, and if things go as I think they're continue, I'm doing great. So I'm going to end doing these health updates on these lessons. All right, now let's get into this though, because if you want to, I have in my notes here to remind you that if you want to share any of these lessons with someone else, it's in YouTube, and maybe it's on the church website. Is that right too? So go to YouTube, and then in YouTube search engine, type in Faith Baptist Smithville, Missouri, because there are several Smithvilles, and then you'll see the lessons there. It's about the second one down the right, gives you all the lessons that we've had. Okay, enough of that. So I love this picture, but there's another picture I want you to see. And it's from, let me tell you, it's from VLT in Chile. Do you know what VLT stands for? It's such a technical term. It means Very Large Telescope. Literally, that's what they've called it, VLT, Very Large Telescope. And if you see this picture, maybe you can see that it's made up of several different pictures. I think there are 5 or 6 different pictures in here that are all tied into this one thing. What I like about it is it shows the immensity of what God has created. And with just by speaking it into existence. And there's several verses that come to mind. The first one that I thought of, I'll put up on the screen here, is Psalm 8, 3 and 4, which says, "When I consider your heavens, the work of your hands, the moon and the stars which you have ordained, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you visit him?" And I want to look at a particular word in this because this word is also in our study today. And let me just circle that for you. It's this word consider. And it's a common word. We know what it means. But I want you to think about that because this word is also used in Proverbs 6:6, where Solomon says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, you lazy person. Consider," there is our word, "consider her ways and be wise." Here, as you consider, it should result in you being wise. And that is what we want to do as you consider something. We'll look at the definition here in a bit. In fact, our verse for today that we'll be looking at is Romans 11:22. Of course, a different word. This is not Hebrew like it is in the Old Testament. It says, "Therefore, consider the goodness and severity of God." Consider these two things on God. And mind you, let me remind you, these are not opposite things. Consider the goodness and the severity of God. So let's consider this word consider. Okay? It's pretty simple word. If I looked it up in Webster's 1828 dictionary, I would see this: to view attentively. Great. You could stop right there. That describes it pretty good. But the first definition is so good. He says it's to fix the mind on. When you consider something, you focus your mind on this thing. To fix the mind on with a view to a careful examination. To think on with care, to ponder, to think about this, to study or to meditate on. And I love all those things because Romans 11:22 says, consider, ponder this, meditate on the goodness and the severity of God. Well, something for us to consider is, I put the Greek word here, it's eido. It means to see or to know. That's the Greek word. Well, I want us to, before we really get into the lesson and seeing what we're going to consider, I want to put this fellow's picture up here. This is A.W. Tozer. And again, I've got this out of the book, The Divine Conquest. The Divine Conquest. And he wrote this long ago, but I think it's so good. I want to put his quote up here for you to consider, to focus on, to dwell on. Look what he says here. He says, a superior brain without the saving essence of godliness may turn against the human race and drench the world with blood, or worse, it may lose loose ideas into the earth which will continue to curse mankind for centuries after it has turned to dust again. Now, who does a name come to mind of someone like this that this describes? Pardon me? Hitler, okay, that's a good one. Anybody else? How about this name? You'll know it. He's from 1865. How about Charles Darwin? Has he affected anything with all his false teaching and his thinking? My goodness, for centuries? Where our kids are taught this in school even today.